of misframing in these law study streets, we'll call them. And Tuesdays is a good day to do what, like how our brother-in-law Hassan calls concept correction, so that we can get more and better consistent results in our legal woes when we're dealing with that. So, what kind of miscomprehensions typically happen when we're among our newbies? Things like being afraid of our name, saying things like, oh, they are trying to reach or prosecute the all caps, the straw man. Um, we think that putting things or saying that we put things in a trust is somehow going to uh, negate liens or remove them, um, and other magical, fantastical machinations that only survive because they're not typically scrutinized, and the people who wish for them to be true uh don't question them properly because we wish for them to be true. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Confirmation bias.
So we get around people that also want it to be true, and so instead of questioning each other, and it doesn't necessarily have to be uh you know rude, or it doesn't have to turn into a debate, but people don't typically challenge things and don't challenge them on a regular basis, or try to comprehend them from, again, the legislative intent and the constitutional limitations. And so things kind of go off the rails sometimes. And so people start talking about the UCC, for example, when it has to do with a traffic ticket or a criminal case. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Word.
Anybody?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So, you know, those are the types of concepts that we look to correct here on our Newbie Tuesdays, but we're open to other conversations as well, as long as they're not too advanced, because it's important to lay a good foundation. And like some people who live in Texas find out, it's important to inspect that foundation, because if it's on some clay soil, okay, it might crack and make part of your house start sinking, and then you might call or connect with one of our uh team members here, study mates here, and then we got to do special tools and all that stuff. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you don't know how to raise your hand, feel free to ask in the chat how to do so, and one of our gracious study mates will assist. So I see we got some hands up. Get your hands up for those who know how to raise their hand if you have your newbie question, or if someone who might not be here or able to speak gave you their newbie question to ask while we're together. So appreciate the people on TikTok joining us, tapping it out, and of course those are here on Zoom. Y'all already know what's up. So go ahead, Linnea, with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
All right, so this is an emotional outburst. How much I really appreciate the class that we had 2 weekends ago that Trading Brigade um, was heading. The other day, I got an affidavit, and usually it would get my blood pressure up and get me excited and sweating and all of that. And because of all of that information, I was immediately able to look at it and be like, oh, we're not even worried about this. And immediately just pick out all the red flags. So thank you so much, trading. Like we needed that class so much. Thank you.
Salute to you and many others who participated. And if you haven't, the replay will be available pretty soon. I'm sorry. It is
But
indeed an interesting one.
It's so interesting you brought that up because I told him the same thing like
It's for real though.
yesterday.
It's for real. I truly appreciate love. I truly do. But like I'm saying, it's important information because that's what we faced, if not all the times, right? Assertions being made but not supported by admissible evidence that would warrant the court to issue an order binding on
and
the
also not
defendant.
and also not knowing how to attack it.
Say that again. Say that again, Naima.
I was saying also not knowing how to attack it.
Yes, you will not know how to attack it if you don't know how to at least break it down or what is it saying or comprehending the deficiency that whatever assertion is made, it is coming from the source of personal knowledge, information and belief, or the review of some type of record, business record oftentimes, right? And those three sources oftentimes is measured according to the rules of evidence. The personal knowledge sufficiency. The highest form, it must be related to some personal knowledge to a greater extent. Now, looking at information received from information and belief that could be construed as hearsay in its broadest term, then you look at information received from business record. The standard reflect through the statutes and case decision that whoever is testifying on such grounds, it must express or show some connectedness to some personal knowledge of the record custodian or one that's vested with powers to transfer or incorporate business record, especially from servicer to service or whenever there's a transfer or assignment of those business records. So we're testing to see it should not be just merely an assertion that plaintiff is the holder of the note or defendant owes this amount or defendant fails to pay rent. Defendant is indebted to plaintiff under any kind of verification. It should be scrutinized from the construct of how does this person making this assertion knows? Is it from personal knowledge? How does he or she knows? And that's where it starts.
word.
The great thing is that even though the class has passed, you can still get in on the class if you contact Trading Brigade.
Yes, and the replay will be available on the Georgia Eviction Coaching Network website, and also it will be available on Freedom from Government in a very short order. I promise you guys.
All right, so you guys will be able to get the class, enroll in class. But right now, if you contact him directly, or if you can put the
Most
link in,
definitely.
if you can put the link in the chat so that they can click on it, you can still enroll in the class, even though the live has already passed, but you will be in line to get the recording as soon as it drops. So you guys can actually register today
Yes.
if you missed the class. All right, so shout out to whoever is posting the link to the class or here on TikTok and in the Zoom. Appreciate it, guys. And on that note, I want to remind you guys on June 6th, which is not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, June 6th, we are having a off the property tax roll workshop at noon. On that day, you guys are going to see us begin the process for this particular property that we have right now. So you guys are going to get a personal, transparent look into our actual situation. We will be sharing all the details, all our research, starting June 6th for our off tax roll. And if you use the coupon code off tax roll, you guys will get the original enrollment price, even though there's already 2 installments in there and more coming. So we're not just going to be talking about theory. You guys are going to see the research. You're going to see the documents we prepare. And you're going to get to see if there's any responses back. We'll go over them. We'll schedule classes accordingly so that we can review everything and everybody can see how the whole thing goes, regardless of what the outcome is. So if you guys are interested and you're here on TikTok, you can scan the QR code that's right here. Ah, shucks, I forgot to go live on, on YouTube. So I guess you guys just have to wait on the upload because I'm just now remembering 16 minutes into the class that we could be live on YouTube. So forgive me, YouTube people. I'm still trying to get into the swing of things.
I also want to add, I had my hand up specifically to talk about the off-tax rule class. I've had
Okay.
a handful of people send me emails about tax stuff, getting their house off the tax roll. So shout out to those people, like come to class so that way you don't have to, do it one piece at a time. We can do it as a group and it always makes things easier.
Yes. So enroll in the, like I said, in the off tax roll class now. There's already two class installments in there. So you're just not enrolling and then waiting until the 6th. You're enrolling and getting the information that's in there already right now so that hopefully you can hit the ground running if you don't already begin before us getting started on the 6th, because there's nothing wrong with that. All right, we're still gonna all have to do the same research, and we're still gonna all have to go through the same process. So we already have some of our friends-in-law that are in the thick of things, that are moving on to the next stage. So you guys can enroll now. Trading Brigade just dropped his link here in the chat on um, Zoom, and so hopefully one of our friends-in-law can drop that link, echo that link in the chat on TikTok, so you guys can check out either thing you want to do. And also in July, we have Hassan coming up with his class, and hopefully he shares a little bit more about that before we get off today. I see we got some more hands up, so let's kind of mix those in. We have a a granting of a TRO we're going to talk about, even though it's Newbie Tuesday a little later, so we can redact some information before we share it. Right? We always love when we actually get those TROs granted. Always good. Always a step in the right direction, especially when it comes to things like our shelter. All right. So, next hand up, Curtis. Go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm the one who had posted something on Facebook today regarding pad split and them being a public benefit corporation, also providing housing. So I went ahead and filed a claim in court against them. And of course, the marshal has to do his whole thing or whatever. So I called the court today to verify the status of the entry of the marshal serving the other party, and they informed me that even though that um, I submitted it on the 29th, they still haven't sent it over to the other party. And so today they're going to rush it. Even in their system, they have it marked as they received it on the 12th of May, but they still haven't physically sent the paperwork over to the opposing party. And this is regarding landlord tenant and all that jazz. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So my question is, so I've been doing the eviction judicial notice to amend it for my situation specifically. So I just want to ensure that um that I will essentially have all T's crossed and all I's dotted when it comes to this. Because like I said, it seems like Passport is doing a lot of unusual things, and I've kind of requested them to contact me regarding this, and they keep actually evading my responses. Even their legal team has rejected my correspondence and sent through the mail. So that's why I went ahead and just filed a summons through the court system. And so I want to make sure that that I'm just, like I said, all T's are crossed and all I's are dotted with this situation.
So you're wanting someone to look over your claim. What exact part are you wanting to make sure is done right?
Just wanted to ensure that, yeah, just someone just look over the claim. it seems that I got it pretty much down packed. But what threw me off today was when I called the marshal's entry of service, and they told me that even though they put it in their system that it was received, that my paperwork was received on the 12th of May, they haven't sent it out at all. And so now they're going to send it out today and have it rush, which then again takes 30 days for them to, send that over to whoever, to the other party. And so I want to know, is that would that cause any type of hang up with all of this? I am still paying, but I don't want to pay for the next membership dues. Is what they're calling the rent. They call it membership dues. And so that's due on the 2nd. And so I believe that this whole situation with the Cobb County Marshal's Department kind of threw me off because, like I said, they were supposed to send the paperwork over, but for some reason it was lost in translation or someone didn't do their job properly. So it's causing somewhat of a hiccup in all of this. And so I wanted to see if there's something that I can address with them that it kind of put a little bit more weight under my belt.
I think you did that. The first thing you did right was at least get in contact with them to see what's going on. I do think it is a little weird that they said, "Oh, we're going to do it today," and it's almost like a rush for them now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. They said they accepted it in the system, but then didn't actually mail it out. So they accepted it on the 12th, and then so on the paperwork they put that it was accepted on the 12th, but then again they didn't physically mail it out until today, which is almost 2 weeks later. And
That
so
might be
essentially the
grounds for a temporary restraining order on whatever they might be attempting to do, like getting the dues paid or whatever you want to call it, the renewal.
Mhm.
And you
A temporary restraining order against pad split.
whoever the other party is, if they're expecting something or expecting something to be done by a certain amount of time, you also might be able to, what's the state? Did you say Georgia?
I'm in Georgia. Hmm.
Okay. So, you may be entitled to the paying registry into the rent instead of directly to them since you said you were current.
Hmm.
You can request to the court
Mm.
to pay into the registry. How y'all like that? How you like that, Trading? How you like
Ooh.
that, Seven?
I
Pay into the
Word.
registry.
Yeah. You can request to pay rent into the registry. Right, guys? Trading?
Yes, it could
Seven?
be requested, but I'm not certain. I'm not sure of the facts or what was said earlier. I'd stepped away for a minute, but
He said he's current on his rent with whoever
uh-huh,
he's renting from,
uh-huh.
but he just filed a claim against them,
Yes, so even
and
though
it has
if
not yet been properly served, even though the marshals had it to serve from almost 2 weeks ago.
okay, but that does
But
not.
there's a due coming up soon, so he can either potentially request a TRO or request to pay rent into the registry.
Yeah, but what's the claim around, about though? Because filing a claim against a landlord, I'm not certain of the claim, but it doesn't, that by itself does not stops the performance that is required according to the contract or the
Correct.
lease agreement, right?
But if he has a question, he could always request to
Because
pay rent into the registry so it
yeah,
doesn't appear that he is not attempting to pay. They might have
yes,
some
yes,
other uh habitability issue or something.
yes, you're correct. You could make a request to at least have the been paid into the court registry, but I'm just making that point across so that it's not misconstrued.
Yes.
Yeah, to keep
Curtis,
you a standing.
Hmm.
go ahead, Seven. What you got to say?
No, I said Curtis, it'll keep you in good standing if that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah. So
what is
tell me
what?
about the complaint. What was
Yeah, that's
filed
what I
with
was about to ask too. Like, what's your
grounds? What's the grounds
yeah?
upon which you file a complaint?
Because landlord tenant agreement. And so the membership agreement is actually it's crazy because it's governed by the statute laws of the state of Florida, and I'm in Georgia. And so I believe they do that in order to avoid the whole 30-day eviction process for Georgia residents, because in Florida, they have, the eviction process is supposed to be within 72 hours. And so in the state of Georgia, of course, you have the 30 days, you have to go through the whole court system, blah, blah, blah. But if we don't pay our member dues by, I think, like the second day or whatever's due, then they'll terminate our membership, and then they're
But
saying
what are
that
the
we're forced to
grounds for
get
your
out.
claim against them that you just filed? That's the
It
question.
is that they're exercising landlord tenant laws under the Uniform Residential Landlord Tenant Act, and that this is not a public house, and I'm not a tenant, and I'm not, the statutory whole ordeal. So that was my grounds for when regarding my claim.
What recognizable grounds might he have, Hassan Trading, from what
I
he just
mean,
said?
I think I
Uh-huh.
spoke with this brother sometime before, and it seems as
Yeah,
if
yeah, I think.
I'm not certain if the issue is related to a landlord-tenant relationship. If it is a landlord-tenant relationship within the confines of the Georgia statute from memory. However, just listening to you now, it would have sounded as if the best thing to have done was to actually petition to declare for a declaratory action.
Is it framed as a declaratory action, Curtis?
You have to break that down for me. That.
Well, remember, because all right, let's just say from memory, it's kind of a
Uh-huh.
subcontract, right? It's not. It's a
Yes.
yes. I don't remember exactly well, but I know it was like a subcontract, and it doesn't appear to me that it was just directly under Georgia landlord tenant statute. That's that from memory. I'm open for a correction.
It's
However, because there is an issue, I'm saying you are seeking the issue to be declared based on the uncertainty and guiding your future conduct in making the payments, that is.
Right.
and it's pad split like Airbnb, but like extended stay type.
Yes, and those not necessarily fall under the landlords in the relationship. At least it could be scrutinized to determine whether or not it falls under the landlords in relationship. It could be like because you have landlords in the relationship, you also have innkeeper and guest relationship, which is it's different. So because this was
Yeah. Yeah. I
from
mean,
memory.
they.
Uh,
Yeah, they use words like on their website they're using landlord and tenant. Over the course, in the membership agreement they're using stuff like membership dues, guests.
so
So it's very conflicting.
so that's what I'm saying now. That is the uncertainty, and it would be sought through declaratory action that no, you're seeking an order from the court that dictates your uncertainty and future conduct of that whatever relationship it is.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yes, I would have done a declaratory action in a sense, and that would work well with what you're asking relative to the court's registry, making payments in the court registry.
And since it hasn't been served,
Gotcha.
it's that stage in
Mhm.
the case where it can easily be amended without requests for leave.
But let me ask this question: what court did you file this action?
I filed it in the magistrate court.
See, I don't think that's the best place that you
Yeah.
should have filed such an action. That's for summary proceeding, limited jurisdiction. I think you're in the wrong venue, straight up.
Okay.
Are you
Wrong venue.
clear?
Okay.
The Superior Court of General Jurisdiction would be the court that's able to properly adjudicate such an issue, and not the magistrate court.
Is
Gotcha.
that is
Okay.
that what your question was, Hassan?
I was asking, is he clear on what a declaratory action is? And if not, it's basically setting the rules of engagement between you and pad split and what it is that you have. And another thing I recognize what you're saying was membership. How are they classed, or what are they? Are they a private member association? Are they corporations? Of like what is it
It's
that they're
funny
using?
because I
Yeah,
think that is actually the question that he's trying to get the declaration on.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
in one area they're using landlord tenant language, and then in another area they're talking about the membership stuff.
Like because I heard him say dues,
Mm-hmm.
member dues.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah, I'm
so
trying
they're
to.
avoiding like rent, they're avoiding tenant in agreement, but then they're using those words as well on their website. And so they're of course they're a public benefit corporation. It's like you said, it's like an Airbnb, but it's for long-term stays. And so you rent a room out in this house and you have access to the whole house, but I guess they're a housing company. But then I'm also thinking it almost is operating as if it's a Section 8 housing as well. And sometimes I get mail from Section 8, um, Section 8 housing authorities to come to this address. And
They
then so
might
I
be
also hit
attempting
up
to
past.
do the Frankenstein process where they use benefits from one type of
Mm,
categorization and then another
hmm.
benefit from a different kind, and that is the grounds for you asking the declaratory
Right.
question. That is the ambiguity.
I have a
The,
bit of an issue with that, with what he just said. So
Mm.
let me be clear. I'm going to ask
hmm.
maybe one, maybe two clarifying questions.
Hmm.
So you're saying that there's some type of activity pertaining to subsidized housing that's happening as far as what you've witnessed in terms of that location where you are, correct?
Yes.
Are you, I'm not trying to get in your business. I'm just
No,
asking.
no, no,
Are
no.
are you
Hmm.
transacting with these people, the so-called dues, more than like 50, $60, less than 100?
So I pay about 850 a month,
Now hold on,
and I
stop right
pay
there.
them
Stop
every.
right
I
there.
pay.
Stop right there. The reason why that's an issue for me because, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it sounds like they're getting a voucher and
Mm,
still renting through what's called pad split. So I would see like I am curious about their structure. I'm curious about the structure because it almost sounds like, is that self enrichment I'm hearing, y'all? I'm open for correction.
Well, I think again, that's why he needs to have that what you just said is grounds to support why he needs the declaratory action to find out exactly what capacity that they're acting in. Are they mixing capacities, which would imply self-enrichment if you take the benefit from this one and then in this situation, then the benefit from this other one in another situation. So that's the question inquiring minds want to know. What exactly is the relationship between the parties? Is it landlord tenant? Is it
right.
membership and association? Is it one for the purposes only for eviction and another one when it comes to the renting? Like
Mm, right.
that is the purpose
Yeah.
of a declaratory action, Curtis. It is to clarify
Mm,
the ambiguity that they also call the what?
membership agreement dues.
They call it, hold on. They call it not ambiguity when it comes to declaratory action.
The rules of engagement.
The
Controversy, or
controversy.
uncertainty.
Yes, yes, the uncertainty and the controversy. That's what they call it when it's
Civil
declaratory action.
controversy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, and so yeah, so would I be able to go into the state court and then turn around and try to transfer it to the superior court, or would I just need to
You
just
wouldn't do a transfer. You would do a total withdrawal
mm-hmm.
Do a voluntary withdrawal, OCGA 91141. Do a
because
vo-
it's not even served yet, right? So if
yes.
you do it immediately, like hang up the phone, like hang up the call and go do it, you
Yeah,
can withdraw and then refile in I
and
don't know if it's
refile under
also called
superior.
state court, but definitely the superior court.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, let me do that. Let me do
And
that.
then when you lodge it in the Superior Court, just look into declaratory action, look into the, I think there's only two elements. Make sure you hit the elements for declaratory action and explain what the controversy is, the narrative, the discrepancy
Gotcha.
between what
Okay,
it
that
says
makes a
on the
lot more.
agreement, what it says on the website, and why this court action needs to proceed so you can clarify exactly what the relationship and the expectations are supposed to be based on what they're actually classified as.
Right, because
And
they've listed this. They listed my home address as a registered agent's address, and so I get a lot of mail from LLCs coming here. And so I asked them, "What is this? Can they clarify?" And they just ignored me.
Yeah.
so let me share this with you though. Declaratory judgment in Georgia, it must be measured against a case that's called Floam, Cobb County versus Floam. It's a I'm gonna share it here. It's a 2024 Supreme Court case decision. And it talks about whenever a declaratory action or one seeks declaratory judgment, right? It says, however, they did not show any uncertainty about their future conduct that would warrant a declaratory relief. So, in constructing the declaratory action or seeking that declaratory judgment, research what the holding of that Floam versus Cobb County or Cobb County versus Floam to ensure that your language is so structured to,
Gotcha.
to
Okay.
rely on the court's order to guide the uncertainty of your future conduct.
Mm,
Declaratory relief is appropriate only when there is a showing of uncertainty affecting future conduct. Thinking about whether or not it is within the confines of the landlord tenant, what you call it, landlord tenant relationship between the parties, given the standard terms that are used versus what you're talking about the membership, among any other things that you saw you wanted to be declared. But I'm just saying for the purpose of
right.
the uncertainty affecting the future conduct, it should not be
You.
omitted. So I'm just putting you on game here, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that. That's much helpful. It makes a lot of sense. Sir. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Oh,
Hi, Bubba. Here, try this on her.
All right. Gratitude for the question and for the shared answers and increase, guys. All right. Yoni has her hand up next. Go ahead, Yoni.
so let me quickly
Oh,
read this. It says the court emphasized that while courts can resolve actual controversies, they must also ensure the relief sought is the right kind. In this case, declaratory relief was not appropriate because the Flome's claims were based on past actions, not future uncertainty. So bear that in mind. That
Past
you
actions,
cannot
not
seek
future
declaratory
uncertainty.
action for yes, you are asking the court's intervention to guide the future conduct from the uncertainty.
Gotcha.
You making payment when there is maybe no landlord tenant relationship, and that's the reason why you could be or you would ask or petition the court to make payment into the court registry until the matter is resolved.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes a lot. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, that's
Okay.
where I was
Okay.
going with it as soon as he said he was current. It's like, okay, well, that means you could remain so by offering to put it into the registry of the court since it's resolved. And if it gets resolved in their favor, then they would have lost nothing.
Okay. Gotcha.
And if it's resolved
Okay.
in your
Okay.
favor, then what was paid into the court, if anything, would be given back to you.
Mm. Yeah, so that's what I want. What I paid to be given back to me.
Well, moving forward, if you get your case launched properly and you make the offer to pay into the registry of the court, what you put into the registry now moving forward could be given back to you. But if there's some type of uh back pay, if you will, or something, that should be resolved as well in the same situation. they can potentially order them to, or have you do a different action where you retrieve what you might have given in the past.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
All
So
all
just so
right.
they withdraw the current one, and then immediately, and then do the whole little. Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. That
You're
was
welcome,
wonderful. Thank you.
Chris. All the best to you.
Thank you.
All right. Yoni.
Hello, family. I just got an
Hey.
emotional outburst. I
Okay.
am so grateful for this community. I'm going to say it a million times. So I have two little slight wins. They just slight.
You hear how she always tries to minimize the wins, guys? Everybody get pumped. Hype her up.
So they're small because these are actually people that I helped. And actually,
Oh,
2 years
now it's
ago,
getting even bigger.
yeah. So 2 years ago, I asked y'all about one of my friends that had an issue with their tax. I think they was renting a house out and then they didn't get caught up on their taxes. Long story short, and the reason why I say it's a small win is because I didn't know what I know. I just was really getting into the group almost, and you guys helped us look up the firm that was coming after him. So long story short, I'm just seeing this guy from 2 years ago, which again my cousin she was acting on his behalf, and I seen him about a couple of weeks ago. I've been meant to tell y'all this, and he gave me a big hug. I'm like, hey, all right. So long story short, when I talked to my cousin, she said that they actually called that. She went down to the county, and he told them that they had paid it, but they paid it to that law firm that we had looked up. And so the county went after the law firm and he was able to keep his home. Now, that home he wasn't in, he had rented it out, but I just was like, wow, 2 years later, I didn't even know what happened with that. I just knew y'all helped us and we went over it. We looked up the law firm and all of that. And so he ended up keeping his property from that. That's why I say it's little. So
Keeping your property is not a little
you're right.
thing. It
You're
is
right.
a big, humongous. It was the property tax, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like a little bit starting to come back 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we looked it
Come on,
up.
bring me my receipts. I don't care. Two years, 4 years, five. I don't care. Bring them receipts. Run them.
Okay, well, I'll ask my cousin. So yes, she told me that, and I was like, "Wow, I always wondered what happened, but that's what happened. That's why he probably gave me that big hug when I seen him." But so the
Yes.
second one is these people I haven't talked to is so crazy. I guess they call me and I tell them, and they try their hand and they did it. So this other guy, I think it was like November, December. He must have had a debt or something. He said the debt wasn't his. He called either the
Alleged debts, a
yeah, I'm sorry, the
purported debt.
alleged death. That's
Uh,
right. He said that alleged debt was not his, and he called the company and told them that that wasn't his debt. And I remember hearing one of our friends-in-law saying that about her mother when she called there. So when I told him that, I'm like, yeah, you need to. He told me I just seen him not too long ago, and he told me, yeah, I called them and told them they want my debt, and they said, you sure it's not your debt? He was like, no, it's not my debt, and they took it off. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
yes.
you
Is
know,
Jasenia in here? Yesenia. If Yesenia is in here, it's her mom that you're referring to that
yeah,
inspired that particular
yes.
issue right there.
So I am just grateful, and I've been helping so many people. My sister with a debt validation letter, and my kid. It's just so many that I have my own stuff going on, so much of my own, but I just would have never. Now it's just like people come to me, and I would have never, ever even thought to do any comeback. I wasn't gonna come for them. I was like, all right, whatever, yeah, whatever. But I am so grateful and I'm thankful. And it seemed like now the more I go in that courtroom, it just get easy. Not saying that it just gets better because and know exactly what I did the last time. I was telling my sister today, I said I just didn't know what to say the last time I was in court. And it seemed like it just get better and better each time I go to court. So I just want to say
Yes.
thank you to the community. Just thank y'all so much for all y'all time. I'm talking about everybody, not down to Malika, Hassan, trading everybody, even down to the friends-in-law that come because sometimes when y'all have an issue, I want to ask the same question, but before I can ask it, somebody already asked it, and then we just shoot down the whole. We run it down, and then I just pick up so many Jews. Boom, 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 and it just helps. It just helps. So I just want to say thank you guys, and I yield.
Woo woo. Yes,
Gratitude.
that is what's up. Congratulations on getting the confidence because of your realization of your competence to be able to help another. And I'll say it again, as I've said before, that I love having you guys who are here on a regular basis get relief, but there's something special when you guys help someone else with the information that you have garnered from our community here. It just takes to the next level, at least for me. I'm getting goosebumps, everything, and I'm not even cold. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I'm just having my own emotional outburst over here. Okay. So congrats, especially on helping others. That's a major, major win. Okay,
And
nothing
can
small.
I just can I point out that it always seems to be people who maybe don't even have it all together themselves that are helping other people win. And I love that. I love it for us that we're able to calm ourselves enough that we can lend other people our stability and our knowledge. So big up.
Gratitude.
Yes, yes. So you guys, these success stories make it all worth it. We know that not everybody wins. And of course, the leadership among the group is always trying to figure out how to increase the applicability and increase the successes that our community assists with. But we cannot let that detract us from the success stories that we are having. You guys are totally amazing. We would not be here if it was not for you guys. And yeah, let's just continue. All right. Whose screen is this?
No, it's
Okay,
mine. It's mine.
trading. Okay, you got it redacted.
Yeah, it's just a
All right,
name.
let me mute out so you can share,
Yeah,
bro.
what am I sharing other than this is an application for a temporary restraining order, a petition to prevent a scheduled foreclosure sale, often held every first Tuesday in the state of Texas, right? So this was done earlier in May, but actually, if you look here, it's the 26th date, today's date at 1:28 p.m. in Texas, and it's saying here that temporary restraining order. If we go here, it says it is further ordered. They did a bond for $1,500. Well, depends on how it's gonna be dealt with. It could be a percentage if it's done through a surety company. But what's interesting here is that it's granted, and it's granted. A hearing will be held on June 5th. The sale would have been June 2, 3 days after a hearing will be held, right? And not only that, they're saying that it says this temporary restraining order shall expire at 11:30 a.m. on the ninth day of June, which is how many days after? Fifth, the fifth, 4 days after, unless extended by agreement of the parties or by order of the court as allowed by law. And it's really centered around the substitution of trustee, according to Texas statute, the authority to conduct or administrate, that's a term Texas used to administrate a foreclosure. So it was challenged, like Linnea mentioned earlier, the affidavit or whatever written statement that was proffered to conduct the sale. It was analyzed and recognized the deficiency, the conclusory statements, and it is against that background that the temporary restraining order, as well as the sworn statement of facts.
So this is the proposed order that was as filed by our friend-in-law?
Yes, that was
Okay, so
granted.
the judge
Yes.
basically just autographed it as is.
Yes, and it was, yes,
Wonderful.
granted.
Wonderful.
I don't necessarily want to read it, but it says on this day the court considered plaintiff's verified original petition and application for a temporary restraining order. The court finds that plaintiff has pleaded a cause of action and that it clearly appears from the verified pleadings and attached exhibits that immediate and irreparable harm, irreparable injury, loss, or damage will result before notice can be served and a hearing held unless a TRO issues, because the property is scheduled for foreclosure on June 2, 2026, and such sale would alter the status quo before the court can determine whether defendants have authority to accelerate the debt, appoint substitute trustees, and conduct the foreclosure sale. Shall I continue? The court further finds that to the extent this order is granted before defendants can be heard, the verified pleadings and supporting affidavits show that immediate and irreparable injury may occur before notice can be served and a hearing held, because the foreclosure sale is scheduled for June 2. The court further finds that the real property commonly known as that address is presently set for a non-judicial foreclosure sale on that date, and unless restrained, defendants may proceed with acts that would alter the status quo before the court can hold a hearing on plaintiff request for a TRO. It is further ordered that defendants, Freedom Mortgage Corporation, I'm sure most of us are familiar with that company, right?
Very
Nestor
familiar.
Solutions, because listen to this, it's interesting. So Nestor Solutions LLC is acting as attorney, in fact, for Freedom Mortgage Corporation, who is a substitute trustee. So Christopher Baxter is the president for Nestor, or the director rather, and he signs or execute the substitution of trustee as the vice president and the attorney. But which one is it really?
Right.
That needs to be determined, and they were sent, or you rather was sent, a good faith notice within reasonable time, and it was emailed, it was tracked, and we saw that it was open at least a few times, yet no response, right? The substitute trustee named in the trustee notice sailed, and all persons acting in concert or participation with them who received actual notice of this order are temporarily restrained from conducting or attempting to conduct foreclosure sale of that property, taking any action, or consummate the scheduled foreclosure pending further order of this court. In a nutshell, I call it a success for me. I'm not sure about you guys. Salute.
It's a success for me.
Yes, so
that's why I clarified that this was the proposed order as is.
Yes, it is. It's the proposed order as is. All it did was accept that she didn't add no page number after it was done, but it was proposed.
And it's a good thing too that they didn't quit, because we also know that some phenomenal strategies are put together, and sometimes people get 10 feet from the finish line and then they quit, and robbing us, especially me, of success stories.
I'm not laughing at you, bro. I'm laughing at you.
I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you, it's like, man,
because those who feel it know it. As coaches, which Hassan is a great coach,
my grandma
we
used
can get invested,
for
right?
real.
And if you stumble or you fall near what we see as the finish line, we want to drag you.
Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely.
The hearts want what the hearts want, right?
Indeed.
Which is the win. Don't be robbing us.
But I think most people are under psychological pressure when they're going through instances of this nature. You know, I was even speaking to someone today who attended the court, and they were all so strong and confident that, hey, you know, that they could manage. And even though it was on Zoom, what she told me that, she think she can't risk a judgment entered against her, and a judgment what is it, a judgment and possession. So she rather take what was offered, which is to vacate the property within 7 days.
Cash for keys.
Well, yes, and even though it might seems well for her, I have to measure and look at it to say, okay, that's what her hearts want. As much as I, not necessarily that I would have
Drag
preferred.
her.
Huh?
Drag her.
I
I'm just
refuse.
kidding.
I
I'm just
refuse
kidding.
to do any
I'm
dragging
kidding. I'm
because
kidding.
I know because, but I could look at it and let me tell you, man, the courts recognize what's happening. The courts, they always bluff. It's like a poker, and they will bluff.
Yeah.
They will bluff, and
Yeah, even with McGarvey that they're doing a bluff. Oh, you have 7 days.
yes,
That's been
and
almost a month ago now, guys.
if you're not spiritually militant in your heavens, right, you will fall for the mere assertion that you have no other alternative means.
Yeah,
And
they
I'm
like to
saying,
tell
like,
you, okay, we're gonna give you $5,000 cash for the keys, and
oh,
then they make it seem like, oh, this is your last opportunity because if you don't take it, we're just gonna throw your ass out and
and,
take your house.
and you know when that happened in most instances, from my observation, when they don't have a case.
Yes, when they have not filed their own case.
No, no, not when they have not. When the plaintiff, the landlord, or this whoever it is,
Oh, they want to
don't
move
have a
fast
case, and the
because their
evidence
case
is
is
so
there.
glaring on the record of its deficiency. They only
Yeah,
demand. They only try to get the demand possession and tell you, "Oh, we don't need the money. We just need the premises."
right.
And you're not. You don't. You fail to recognize that. Why would they be doing this? Because if they
Yeah.
had a case, it's like telling you to accept a plea deal. So we have plea over here in evictions
Yeah,
as well. Okay,
if you're forcing a plea on me, that means you don't have a
you don't
case.
have
I
a
get it.
case.
If you're posing that cash for keys instead of taking me through ejectment, let's say, you don't have a case. Got you. One of the things that I love about this, if you go back up to the top, everybody could notice the top right. My nemesis is names unnecessarily in here. You
Hmm?
see where it say Tarrant County,
Here.
Tarrant County. I got big beef with
Duh,
them.
duh.
I got personal beef with Tarrant County. They don't get to throw out and none of my friends-in-law.
Yeah, so it's interesting, because the documents that were submitted to conduct the sale, after scrutiny, you recognize several deficiencies that I think, like right here, except by the
Exploitable.
court order, yes, where it says the agreement of the parties is gonna be by order of the court as allowed by law. And I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about the deficiency that would have prevented the
Yeah.
sale.
And what's good about this is, as you guys know, or as Trading Brigade might have said, most states only do their evictions, but as we're starting to call them, their home thefts in the first week, the first
Yeah,
Tuesday
the
of the
first
month.
Tuesday, like I see
So
Georgia, Texas,
if
yeah.
if it's restrained, it will give our friend at least a month. You see?
Yeah, so
If it
what's
was to be rescheduled, it would give them at least a month because they would have to reschedule it for
for to catch the
July.
next calendar date? Yes.
Yes.
So a part of the strategy that I'm exploring here is to even still propose a court trust fund payment, a registry.
Mm-mm. Shout out to Hassan for the recommendation. Totally makes sense to apply in certain situations for sure.
Yeah.
But
I
I
love it, guys.
yield, beautiful people.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Gratitude. All right. Who do we have next? Taisha.
Hi, sorry. Thank you for this session. I have a question. I am currently filing a lawsuit in federal court against a car dealership, and they have filed an answer, but they didn't serve me. And I emailed them to ask them to send me a service copy and also to let them know that I had planned to amend my complaint. And my question is, should I amend the complaint or request for a default
Yeah.
because they haven't served me the copy of the answer, even though I can see it on Pacer.
What state is it? Is it New Jersey?
California.
California? Okay.
But I mean, because it's federal, I would recommend you really look at the rules because even though you could say default because they haven't served you the answer, what would the default? I think that could be remedied. I'm not seeing it as anything that would.
I don't think it's grounds for a default either, because
Yes,
if it
yes, that's
appears
what I'm
on the
trying to say.
record, the court is not going to recognize it as a proper default.
Yes.
Because
The court,
go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. The court also sent a letter to me saying that they had some filing deficiencies that needed to be cured, and they haven't responded to that either. And the reason why we're in federal court is because they ignored arbitration. And also, I filed a claim against their surety bond and was told that it was premature and I needed a ruling from a court or arbitration.
That is true. So if they have filing deficiencies, that's definitely something to explore. Whether or not they are still within the realm of default due to those other deficiencies, plus maybe even their answers are deficient. Okay, so definitely, like Trader McGade said, look at the rules.
Yes, I looked at the rules and it says that I'd rather just amend the complaint, but that gives them more time to answer. Based on what happened, I assumed that they would call to at least go over, like to have some like discussion about settlement, but they have been kind of like haphazard. They filed late and then it was deficient and they didn't serve me. And I would want to amend the claim just so that it's a
Are you
bit.
using an AI assistant?
No. What is that helpful?
Extremely.
Yeah, and
What?
I would highly recommend getting with Hassan.
Okay.
I don't know if he can put his email address.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
Okay.
to see if and how that might be able to assist.
Okay. Thank you. Um, and I did have another question too. I have another case in federal court that's pending a fee waiver, and it's also in California, and they're now very slow to approve fee waivers. Is there any suggestion on trying to get it approved? We're going on like 7 weeks now for
My
waiting.
suggestion is going to be to pay. If you
Okay.
want speed and efficiency, wrangle up that 405 or 402 or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to worry about the riffraff.
Okay.
Whenever things are being delayed, service, that means, of course, remedy is being delayed, is justice is being delayed. And although I know people have legitimate reasons and grounds upon which to file the waiver, you're literally at the mercy of the court, your entire case. And if your case, especially, and this is just my opinion, of course, is not legal advice. Uh, excuse me, if it's worth fighting for, especially if you're going after damages, it's worth getting that wrangling that fee together, whether you gotta beg it, borrow, steal it, or whatever from friends, family, our community, whatever, guys. That's the alternative to not having to wait. So it's okay if you have time and you're willing to wait. If you don't have time, my recommendation across the board would just be to pay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad to help.
Well,
Thank you for the
I
good
just heard
question.
you say that one would be at the mercy of the court. And again, I asked the question of the three branches of government, which one appears from one own
I already gave my
information.
answer.
Yeah. And it really seems to be the court,
The
the
judicial branch is
judiciary.
where it's
Yeah.
at. And I think that's why based on my research, I've pointed my crosshairs at that one. That's where the attorneys are leveraging, I'll say, to do the most damage. All right. Any other questions, comments, or emotional outbursts about that before we go on? Because I felt bad moving on before we were actually done with the last one.
Well, I don't know if this helps, but I also have a case in federal court, and they do have a legal assistance program for free if you want to just check out the rules. But Training Brigade said, you can find it online. But just to confirm, use them. What they is what they're good for.
Yeah. Great suggestion, Ozza. Gratitude. All right. Josette, go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Hey, thank you. So the other day we had a private event at the city conference room, but it was a city park conference room, and I was directing traffic. I'm the one who also reserved the building. And I had some people that I felt should not be climbing the stairs down to the conference room, park and handicap. A nice little cop came rolling through and gave them a ticket. So I went up there today and I spoke with just about everybody, told them this was a private event. This should not have happened. And they tell me, well, you rented the building. You didn't rent the parking lot, and that's city property. And so now I'm trying to beat this thing. And I know to get into the vehicle codes and all that. And I'm wondering if you guys got any more tips to give me to stick it to them.
I am not sure I get what the issue is.
My friend who does not have a handicap plate parked in a handicap because I told her to, because I was the one dealing with the traffic coming into the conference room that I rented, and she got a ticket.
Okay. Like parking without the decal?
Right. I thought when you rent the conference room, you get the parking lot too, and they're like, no, that's city property.
Who told you that?
One of the deputies up there.
Who did you rent from?
I rented from Athens City, Athens Regional.
Did they tell you what you were renting? Did they tell you what the rental included?
Yeah, it's
in writing.
It's the building.
Does the building include the parking lot?
It does, but it's still an open facility for anybody to park.
Okay. Your issue is parking in a handicap spot, the friend that you told to park there.
Correct.
Okay. What was the ticket? What was the the so-called charge on the citation?
Oh, parking in handicap.
Without a decal.
Without right.
Oh, I hear that, but what I'm also asking is, did you look it up yourself to see completely what it is?
I did. It was it's the Disabilities Act and parking in handicap, and if she had either you have a decal or you have to have proof that you could you're okay to park there. You don't necessarily have to have a decal, in case anybody didn't know that. But you do need, like, I guess, a doctor's appointment or a doctor's note or whatever saying that yes, you are worthy of a handicap spot, I guess.
Maybe they have mental disability.
What's that?
Like they do. They got mental disability.
Yeah.
I don't see how they can own the parking lot. I mean, they're saying that they own the parking lot right up to the foundation
They're
of the
not
building.
saying that they own it. You guys, we have to stop going right to the conclusion.
Yeah, I'm gonna
that
continue.
The presumption is that they own it.
I'm gonna continue. What was there signage that says "Do not park here unless you're handicapped"?
It had the handicap signs on it and on the cement or
That sounds like a no, Hassan. I don't know. Sometimes you guys don't understand the question. He asked a specific question a specific way. He didn't ask you if there was a handicap decal. Say the question again, Hassan.
Was there signage that says "Do not park here unless you're handicapped"?
No.
Okay. The reason why, and again, I get it. My questions may be like, but hold on, it's obvious. Everybody knows that if you see a sign that looks like somebody kind of sitting down with a big butt or something, I don't know, because
Objection!
it's a round,
Everybody knows.
it's like a little semicircle around the back of somebody or whatever. We
Everybody
don't we
knows.
don't know
How
what
we
that
gonna
sign means.
survey to see who knows?
We don't know what
Dying
that
over here.
sign means. Was if there weren't words that said "Do not park here unless handicapped," how is one supposed to know to park there or not? Now I'm being a bit petty, but I'm saying if you look into what the elements
That's
are,
not petty, bro. That's making sure that the question and the answer is accurate
correct,
and not presumed, because that's what happens to us. When we ask somebody if they were driving, they were like, "Yeah, I was on the corner of this and that." Like, okay, well, you already testified against yourself. Go ahead and
correct.
get your punishment because of your
So
assumption.
good.
Come and get your love.
And so
Wheels in the sky keep turning.
what are can you read it, Josette? Exactly what the charge is? Like, are you looking at the website that had that where they published that charge?
Or do you have a copy of the citation?
I do have a copy of the citation.
Yeah, what does it say on it? You can either put it up on a screen or just type it into the chat, and then everybody could look it up to see what it actually says.
What state is it?
It's Tennessee. Let's see. I had it up. Oh, here we go. I have it up.
And just for everybody's knowledge, Linnea has posted the study guide, the Newbie Tuesday study guide that we encourage everybody to download, not just for yourself, guys, but also to share, because we occasionally have people who come on and go, "Where's that link again?" And it's like, just download it so you'll always have it, okay? Make sure you keep it open. You know you have access to it, and you can forward it to people who need it. It includes the neutralizing street cop training, organized by Hassan. So it's
Gratitude.
definitely a group effort in putting it together. And our team puts in a lot of work, guys. We're giving you this for free. Don't undervalue it just because it's being offered freely without gatekeeping or a charge. It is very valuable information. Just like the class that Trading Brigade did the other day, and of course the upcoming classes, as we strive to do in each one, give real world education that you guys can implement for life. And as you have also heard today, testimony, it is not, you're not learning things just for your own remedy, but your comprehension and your competence as it comes will allow you to assist others. Even though you might feel, like I said in the beginning, you are only a mere newbie, even if you've been studying for years, because somebody could be studying for years and legitimately still be a newbie because their concepts upon which their foundation is based is flawed from the beginning. Okay, so Joseph put some of the stuff in the,
I put the code in there.
that's the violation.
Yeah.
That looks like a an ordinance.
Yeah. Municipal code.
Oh, that's no. I was nowhere near that. I was looking at subsection 55210108.
They're probably going to mention it in the municipal code, but when the policy officers give tickets, guys, it's typically under the municipal code, which is why when they gave our son a ticket and they tried to hold him for obstruction on the municipal code, we kicked their ass with the definitions in the municipal code. They were like, "We don't want no smoke over there." I especially like when their municipal code is written by Muni Code. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Those publishers.
Yes. Like most of Texas, if not all. Every municipal code I've looked up in Texas, that muni code comes up. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go.
Was
Yep.
this Cookville, Crossville? What ville is this?
Look in the
Uh,
chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I looked right in the chat.
Oh, that was
Athens.
you.
Okay, Athens.
the
Athens.
thing
But
is, this code is from 1994. They've updated the code since then, so I'm trying to find the updated code. It's not even the updated code that the guy used. The cop.
So, wait.
I'm reading
That
it. I
is a
don't see
bigger deal
anything.
than you think.
Yeah, I don't see
Are
anything
they?
about handicap parking. I'm reading it, but I don't see anything.
They're giving you a code that is not current?
Yes. Let
That's
me get.
just like going off of a law that has been repealed, is it not, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong.
But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's repealed. Just as how oftentimes they have revision, and you will find that I forget one part of a Georgia code that I looked up, and it came up in the 2020 version, and you no longer see it in the modern version, but it's not yet redacted, and you find that those older code, what they have done over time is try to remove some of the meat from the actual statute and replace it with some updated thing or some other passage.
Extrapolation.
Yes. So the older codes at times are always great to rely upon, providing that they have not been repealed.
Only the OCGA ones
Well,
that talk
well,
about the limitations of the powers of the county
yes,
sheriff.
or even the part that says the part that talks about it says the intent of the legislature in 44,750 was to provide a means for which landlord could seek remedy for tenants who are behind on their rent. It's talking about the legislative intent, but you will not find that passage in the current Georgia code. And if anyone knows how reliable that legislative intent statute is, or how effective it is when you're dealing with such issue, then I'm saying look at other sections of the code, though it appears to be from 1994 or from 2004 or whatever for. I'm just saying it could be still relevant. They're just trying to update it with some dilutory passage or some new amendment.
I
So,
comprehend that. Can hold on, hold on. I might need to log in on my laptop because
so
I
trading, they're saying it's directory. As a law, it's merely directory, is what it sounds like. It's hortatory. Because if it's a law, it can't change. They can amend it.
It's actually updated as 15-98, unlawful to park in space designated for disabled persons. Persons.
what's on
Oh,
the okay okay um you have the citation in front of you, correct?
Yes, I will have a screenshot.
Okay. What's written on the citation?
Uh, it's the one that I said, the 15-607 violation code. Handicap parking, it just says.
No, but okay. You said 15-607. Can the other me get share, please?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Gratitude. Nope, it's all good. They got me. Gratitude. Okay. Now, you read 15-607, correct?
Correct.
And then there's words next to it that says handicap parking, correct?
No, this is it. I looked it up and it says code from 1995 underneath the 15-98. So they had a
Oh,
code in 22, 95, and now the updated is 15-98.
okay, I'm gonna ask again, right? I'm gonna ask again. What's written on the citation?
Oh, just handicap parking.
Just the words handicap parking is written on the citation.
Yes.
What
Just,
what municipal code is next to that?
the 15-607.
Okay. Are we all seeing my screen? Now, if I need to put on my bifocals here, does anybody see the word handicap?
Oh, where'd you find that?
No.
Phil,
Everybody read carefully, please. Don't just because it's me saying it, just help me out.
No, see
I
it.
don't see it, but I would do Control F
No, I see
because I don't
parking
trust my eyes.
requirements.
Do you see handicapped parking?
No.
You know what? This is gonna be fun. Let's read this. Number one. Who gonna read number one? It's not even that long. Number one.
No
No
person shall be
person.
permitted to park unattended without first stopping the engine, locking the engine, removing the key from the engine ignition, and when parking upon any grade, turning the front wheel to the curb or side of the street.
Okay.
Nothing about handicap parking.
Wait, hold
Okay.
on a second. Is that the only code that they have on the citation,
See why I
Joseph?
keep asking that question?
Yeah.
this is the Cookville code. This isn't McMinn County. It's not Athens. I'm
So
looking
we're
at Athens.
okay, so we're in potentially the wrong section
No,
of
no, no,
the
no, no,
municipal.
no, 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 no. We're not anywhere.
What
We're
municipality? What
we're reading
municipality
the
is this?
citation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, what was the city?
The city of Athens, which is also McMinn County.
Is it the
Cook,
same county as what's here?
no, Cookville is like 2 hours away from me.
Okay.
Totally county.
All right. Okay. So this what I'll do. This what I'll do. Let me hit the back button. Right? I hit the back button. You see, I got Tennessee Municipal Code 15-607, right?
Put in not Tennessee, put in the city. What's the city, Joseph? Athens?
City of Athens.
So
Make sure
put
you
in
put,
Athens municipal code and then the same section to see what comes up.
Okay.
you'll need to see because you might get Georgia.
I'll
Oh,
put T in.
Athens, Tennessee. Athens TN
There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
15-607 is what we need to search, okay?
Okay. Maybe I am seeing handicap now. That's why at first I was like, what? Hold on. Like, I'm not seeing that. Let's see. What is it saying? I don't really just want to read this. I want to read it itself.
Yeah.
I want to read it. So let's see.
Oops.
Maybe that was it. And maybe I'll click here.
All
15
right,
dash
607. Okay,
unlawful to park in space designated for handicapped persons. And it says Athens on the actual citation.
Say it again.
It says Athens on the citation.
Oh, yes, the city of Athens parking citation.
all
All
right, here we
right,
go.
here we go.
Unless qualified.
Unlawful to park in space designated for handicapped persons unless qualified. It shall be unlawful for the operator of a vehicle to park in a space designated for handicapped persons. Are we sure she's not?
Or
Unless
that she wasn't with somebody? Like, how would they even be able to prove that element?
correct, unless the driver or an occupant of the vehicle meets the definition of a medically handicapped person. A handicap parking stall is defined as a stall so designated by a handicap parking sign as well as pavement marking symbols. Said sign shall be in accordance with the Tennessee Manual on Uniform Traffic, blah 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 blah. Where's the placard thing? I was looking for that too. Because it doesn't mention placard in here. It just says
Marked,
that's if it says the
designated?
area, yeah, designated. It says if the one who is behind the wheel is handicapped or somebody that's with them that's handicapped.
Exactly. So how would they know if the car is unattended? Because that's what it says in the well, that was the next section. How would they know if there was a party This seems like it could be thrown out for just that part that 7 just read, because they don't have any way to prove that it wasn't the driver or an occupant. They didn't make any inquiry, right? They didn't do any
And that will
interview.
violate the due process because they can't do that after the fact.
They absolutely cannot do it after the fact.
Not
But
even
how did
after the
they
fact,
make
but
the?
they can't ask about your fucking disability. Am I tripping here?
Yeah, but they didn't even ask. They didn't even generally
Yeah, they
say, "Hey,
can't.
ma'am, are you or one of your passengers handicapped?" They don't have to know which kind,
Yeah,
but they
Exactly.
didn't do
they
any
could
question
ask.
whatsoever to
Uh-huh.
know if the driver or an occupant was in fact not handicapped.
They are not allowed to presume.
They're absolutely not allowed to presume. And of course, if you say yes, they're supposed to take your word for it, because they can't say which handicap, right?
Absolutely, because I'm technically legally handicapped. I guess you would call it disability, but I don't have
Right.
a placard.
That's fine, because it doesn't say the placard. That's what Hassan is pointing out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They can't ask.
Well, they can ask if you are in fact handicapped, because it
Yeah.
says unless
Yes,
the
I'm
driver
sorry,
is
I said
handicapped.
that wrong.
But they can't say, they don't, I mean, they cannot ask you what exactly is your handicap.
Correct. And
Because that's also a violation of HIPAA.
it is.
Yeah. So yeah, this section right here, they have elements to meet. Like, how did they inquire? Was there any type of inquiry or investigation of whether the driver or the occupant meets the definition? Because it doesn't say has. I don't know if the definition of medically handicap means that you have a card.
Right, because
Because
it
if
says
it
unless.
doesn't, go ahead.
I was just saying it says unless qualified, so I want to know how they determined the qualification. But go ahead. You said unless what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How did they make the determination? Is the question. And if they didn't make any determination, then again, the ticket should be dismissed for missing the element of the unless the driver or occupant. They don't have any proof that there was any type
Right.
of inquiry or investigation to show that the driver or the occupant might have reached the definition. So,
And I wouldn't offer any information. Like, what if your friend did show up and they did give someone a ride who was handicapped? I wouldn't even offer that information
yeah,
because then they're gonna be like, oh well, bring them in. It's like
nope,
no. You have to establish that what you have right here in 15-607, you were clear on that. You
yep,
had qualified information that either the one behind the wheel or, as you guys said, operator or an occupant is it meets the definition of medically handicapped person. Here's my question: how would you know they meet the definition of a medically
exactly.
handicapped person?
How did you know that they didn't or did? What
Correct.
exactly did you do? What did you ask? What did you research? What did you investigate?
That's a good point.
So
And then
that's the line right there.
then it tells you about the occupant, or pardon me, the operator or occupant. That's in the first paragraph. The second paragraph is talking about signage.
Here's what I got. The class is an operator of a vehicle,
That's what I was thinking.
motor vehicle.
So what is a what?
The class of persons burdened by the restriction is any operator of a vehicle.
I don't think that was the issue to focus on. It says here, unless the driver or occupant of the vehicle meets the definition of medically handicapped person. How did they do an inquiry to see that the ticket was warranted because the driver or occupant was not meet the definition of a medically handicapped person?
And to play devil's advocate, oh well, the definition of medically handicapped would be obvious if they had a placard.
Obvious.
But the municipal code says it not.
Okay.
If they wanted to, since we're on the devil's advocate part, they could have put a part in the municipal code stating that persons would need to reflect that through a placard.
They don't say it here.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm just, pointing out a point since we were going down that
No,
road.
see that I'm not knocking you. I'm glad you brought that up. So let's look at it from an angle of now this is just municipal level, but if you think about if we were to think about deposition, right? In deposition, you making sure can't nothing else be brought up as a matter of fact or surprise, right? So so I'm looking at it like, okay, well, we're gonna make sure that can't come up. Motion in limine. Hey, let's make sure they don't say something about plaque. It's not get it. It's a little parking ticket that might seem bananas. Like, oh man, it's a parking ticket. Just pay the $200. That's all they want for it in Tennessee. Cool. However, I'm saying be petty, be extra petty, because you need to hold them to the fact that they just can't keep arbitrarily abusing the legal process because they want to cite a citation that has absolutely nothing to do with what is being assumed. That's a conclusion being drawn in that whole citation.
Okay, so like Malika said before, what do you need to be in order for you to park?
No. How did the officer prove in their elements that the driver or the occupant of the vehicle did not meet the definition of medically handicapped person before they drafted the citation?
It's not
Well, that's
even how, but it's
yeah.
a whether or not.
That's the perfect word, whether.
Whether or not, because
Yeah.
in responding, we're not supposed to be making conclusory statements. Remember,
Correct.
remember.
There's no evidence.
Well, to say there is no evidence is conclusory also.
Yes. You
Yeah.
can't make conclusory statements.
So we must remember that even
The
if
record does not reflect
Yes.
whether the officer made inquiry into the driver or the occupant meeting the definition of medically handicapped prior to drafting the citation.
Second question.
Correct.
Does the second question would be whether the operator or occupant has to disclose their medical condition.
Well, let's not go outside the
No.
statute, bro. Like you said, it
yeah.
doesn't dictate that in the statute, and they didn't mention another one.
So my question would be, how would you word that on a response?
There's no documentary evidence on the record into whether the officer determined that the driver nor an occupant met the definition of being medically handicapped person prior to the issuance of the citation.
May I ask, would it be behoove her to call into the municipality and get a copy of the officer's report to see if he lied?
I mean, are you guys like missing the point of Hassan pulling up the statute to read?
Right.
These
I
are
understand.
telling you the elements. The officer can write a ticket unless the driver or occupant of the vehicle meets the definition of medically handicapped person.
Correct.
Is there evidence on the record of whether that element was fulfilled?
Nope.
Correct. I see.
That is what is in question.
I see what you're saying.
And you're right, because over in Portland, what they do is people will park in the handicap spots with the placard, but then they're using other people's placards, so they come up and ask the driver for their certification to park there.
That's borderline violating HIPAA to me.
Yeah.
Because why are you talking to me? Did you see me commit a crime? A crime?
He's trying to.
What is your reasonable, articulable suspicion?
And if they suspected you of a crime, keep them on my clothes.
Write the ticket then.
I'm gonna sum it up for you guys here, right? Claims are not proof. Allegations are not evidence.
Correct.
So in responding, your response must be supported by a sworn statement of facts and not just a motion outlining legal arguments.
I'll drink to that.
I repeat, claims are not proof and allegations are not evidence.
Correct. They're conclusory.
In responding to any petition,
Well,
any
after
claim, it will reveal to you guys, right, that sworn statement, it must be supported by a sworn statement. The sworn statement contains the facts of what exists or doesn't exist versus a motion that contains purely legal arguments. The legal arguments are not sufficient alone in a motion unless it's verified. However, if it's not verified and it's just legal argument outlining the facts to an extent, I'm saying support that motion with a sworn statement of facts that now become admissible evidence, at least if it can be found to be free from conclusory statements or just mere allegations.
Well, that'd defeat every ticket.
That's the posture to defeat every assertion that's made.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm sharing. It's not for us to just respond to a motion because someone filed something. The motion only contains what's called legal arguments, right? But it doesn't dictate the facts. It doesn't contain necessarily the facts in admissible evidence form that is required to create a record for even appellate purposes. So it is just important. I'm just sharing this knowledge because I deemed it important that in responding to whatever document it is, a claim, whatever factual assertion, we're not just responding with a motion to say, oh, this did not happen or this did happen or whatever. It must be supported by a sworn statement of facts sufficient enough for personal knowledge that would now cause the court to have something to rely upon to make a decision. Not just from mere legal conclusions in motions or any other type of pleadings.
And that's what a
actually the
complaint
benefit
would
of
have to
having
contain.
taken the class that Trading Brigade did a couple Saturdays ago. And if that link has not been recently shared, please share it again now. These are the types of things that are highlighted in the class, so you guys can get a deeper comprehension and appreciation for what it takes to evaluate factual assertions and whether they rise to the level of admissible evidence.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what is being proposed to respond or respond to what the sister was just talking about. However, if it should just be, we need to desist from that habit or break that habit of just responding with a mere motion.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I want to make
So
sure that it was
also
clear
add
that
the
what I was saying
declaration.
was
Declaration or some other type of sworn statement
Verified statement.
to
Yeah.
reflect the fact, because remember, the court, we're dealing with the rules of evidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with the rules of evidence, and it's measured against personal knowledge. So even as the sister mentioned, to actually, if they would call and get the police report, you could do that on your own to verify its sufficiency for personal knowledge to challenge. And that's what Linnea was saying because she took the class. She was present. It's recognizing the deficiencies from what's asserted, whether or not there is sufficient personal knowledge or was any investigation done. What information was it determined that the or what was said in the citation about that handicap.
No, that the driver nor any passenger fit the definition
Exactly.
of a handicapped
Yes, the
person.
record does not dictate that, so somebody can't just use a mere allegation as evidence. Allegations are not evidence and claims are not proof.
Very much so. Also, however, prerequisitely important is brainstorming what was cited.
Okay.
Brainstorming what was cited. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Got
when you
to take a look at that
brainstorm what was
citation.
cited, then it can lead you to that, to be able to make sure when you respond, you're not making conclusory statements. However, most friends in law are not contemplating what's actually written pertaining to what's cited. And if we take the time to brainstorm it first, then we will be able to ask a better question pertaining to the justiciable controversy. And I yield.
Awesome, guys. I like how we hammered that traffic ticket because it's not just the fact that it's a traffic ticket. It doesn't make it small.
No
Okay? And it
facts and
doesn't make,
evidence.
you can use all of your faculties, okay, on any type of assertion against your rights. It doesn't matter if it's a traffic parking ticket, moving traffic ticket violation, or any other allegations against you.
I
You
say it again.
evaluate it the same
Claims,
way.
yeah, claims are not proof. Allegations are not evidence. Let's commit that to memory.
I'll tattoo that on
Robin
the back of my
says,
hand.
Huh?
Robin says there's a
Infographic.
hilarious short about a cop walking up to a young girl parked in a no parking zone, and she literally says, "But the sign says fine for parking." LOL. I guess it is a point. You know, that your interpretation, because how are they going to argue that that statement can be read both ways, that you can get a fine for parking or it's fine for parking? And that is the void for vagueness part, because if it is vague or ambiguous and it could be read more than one way, they're supposed to do what?
Interpret it.
Specify.
In our favor.
Yes,
It's
you're right.
supposed to
Or
go in our favor.
Yeah.
or it could be fine as in good looking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fine
that's what
for
I thought.
parking.
If you find, you could park here. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine to
Fine,
park there.
comma, park here.
It's fine to park there.
Not that you'll get a fine to park here, right? Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Do we
The
have any
girl is
other
fine.
hands up or
I have,
questions in the chat?
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Would I be able to file a claim on her behalf?
Why would you do it on her behalf?
Well, probably because it's my fault that she got the ticket to begin with.
Why not show her what to file?
Or do it for her and get her to sign it?
I mean, I don't know if those are the types of things that you need us to tell you to
Or you
do.
could just pay it for her.
Well, I was going to pay it and then
Hello.
file the claim. I was thinking about paying it and filing the claim.
Or you can just get it dismissed. But you can handle that
Go ahead.
amongst yourselves.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you are using AI assistant, but I'm going to highly recommend you get with Hassan, because these are the types of things that you'll be able to do once you have an AI assistant, guys. It's not just about helping yourself. It is also about being able to help others around you. Not everybody needs it, or perhaps nobody technically needs it, but it is a tool that you can use, obviously not just for yourself, but for others, and for a one-time investment. You guys already know. It's just like all the other classes. You do a one-time investment and you can have your access, especially if you're doing the yearly support. Okay, so, and on that note, again, I want to remind everybody we're having class June 6th for our off tax roll. Those of you who have property tax, or you know somebody who you might be able to assist with properly challenging the property tax, we're going to have a very transparent series going on where you guys are going to get to see exactly our research and how we apply the principles to properly challenge the property tax applicability to private shelter specifically, not in general. So if you have a barber shop or a strip mall or something like that, this class is not for you. But if you have private shelter, or you know someone who has private shelter and they're being charged property tax, this class may be for you. Okay? Can you pin the class? This class right here? This is the class y'all want me to pin? The class that's pinned right here? Or y'all want me to pin Trading Brigade's class? Okay, so Gratitude Organic Lotus, she pinned the class. I can pin it again if you guys want to enroll in Trading Brigade's class that happened a couple Saturdays ago about how to evaluate factual assertions and whether they rise to the level of admissible evidence. That's a very important class because cases are won and lost on admissible evidence, okay? And if you can block their evidence from getting in because you properly object to it, and if you can get your evidence in because they can't block you, then you can win.
I'm gonna do something very rare, and I mean rare, and I'm just gonna let it just flash one time. All right. So you're clear on what's even happening in the background with the jurisprudence change. I'll frame it as a municipal court issue, not an appellate federal question, and keep it tied to the ordinance's actual reach, notice, authority, and due process elements. Who wants to read? Matter of fact, Josette, read, please and thank you.
Let me blow this up. I can't see it.
Okay, hold on, I got you. Let me see if I can in a little more. Oh, I can't. That's the best I can do.
You can make it big on your own screen for everybody. If
I'm
it's
doing
not
that.
large enough, after he makes it the largest he can, everybody can zoom in.
Okay. Let me just do a little bit more.
I'll read once you get it in, get your thing settled. You can read the next paragraph. Whether Athens Municipal Code section 15-607 as applied to this citation gives the Athens Municipal Court lawful authority to impose a penalty when the city has not proven each ordinance element beyond the required municipal code standard, namely that the accused was the operator who, quote unquote, parked a vehicle in a space lawfully, quote, designated for handicapped persons, and that neither the driver nor an occupant was qualified to use that space without violating due process, equal protection, and the rights reserved by the Ninth Amendment.
Now, the reason I said rare, I just wanted to give you an idea of the question. This isn't the question you would ask, but this is an idea of how questions are asked when you're talking a court question, or how federal questions. It has the spirit of a federal question, but I specifically wanted it to be for the municipal court, right? Or maybe even a tighter version. Who can read the tighter version if you want?
Oh, want me to read it?
Go right ahead.
Whether due process permits enforcement of Athens Municipal Code 15-607, where the charging instrument merely alleges parking in a handicap designated space, but does not plead and prove the ordinance defined facts that make the parking unlawful.
Boom. And that ties into what Trading Brigade was saying, that claims are not proof, allegations are not evidence. However, you get there by this kind of questioning. And I yield.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for that.
Indeed, y'all. Book y'all sessions. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, who next?
Right. All right. Heidi, go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Hey guys, thank you. So first of all, I really appreciate this conversation because I'm actually dealing with something in criminal court, and I'm going to put forward a document based on what you just spoke about. So thank you for that. Secondly, I want to say a success story that I got a receipt from the State of New Jersey Department of Children and Family Services saying that they've completed their involvement regarding the above mentioned child, and since at this time no need for further services is indicated, we've terminated our agency's involvement effective 5/14/26. So I had a little success story. Yeah. And I want to shout out to Jasenia. I don't know if you have a call, but Jasenia, because I originally put in the bot, like, what should I do? And they're like, oh, you have to comply a little bit. I was like, And I talked to Jasenia, and she's like, no, don't comply at all. Duh, as if I didn't learn that from my first time. And we just went hard and said, no way, you got no authority. There's nothing. I'll sue you. Get out of my face. And it worked. She even said, like, some of the people we've been dealing with thought it was kind of harsh to say this, but yeah, look at them. They're harsh. Harsh. Talk about harsh. They've damaged my child. So anyway, so that was that. And then the last thing I want to talk. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to put it in the chat, but your chat doesn't allow for photos to come in. So anyway,
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah, just so you know.
you could just email it to us, Aza.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Who should I email it to?
All of us. Just attach it.
Who's all of us?
Anybody that whose email you have, just the whole
I'll just
team.
do it to you. I'll
You
just do it.
know, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you can do it to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna
Anyway,
say you can send it to Jasenia, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
tag
I definitely will
Hassan, you
send
can
it to
tag trading,
Justenia.
but it's totally
Yeah.
it's up to you. You can send it to me. I'll make sure everybody gets a copy.
Okay, I'll definitely send it to Agenia too.
Yeah.
Justenia, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the last question I have today is I'm dealing with the utilities stuff. I kind of been putting it on the back burner because of all the other stuff I'm dealing with. But I have a cutoff notice that's real official. They told everybody in the building that it's going to be cut off my gas on June 16th. And I know I took the class and I had originally started the methods that were in the class, and I didn't follow through. They denied my thing and I had to appeal it and I didn't appeal it. So I was just wondering if there's a new method or what do you guys recommend now for utilities?
It's very interesting that you're asking this question because they have a definite date for the cutoff. And I know this is not the advanced class, so I'm just going to say it. Your best bet is always going to be an injunction. If something is coming up very shortly due, just like we told the gentleman in the beginning of the class,
It
if
seems as if
something, go ahead.
like an injunctive and declaratory relief.
Yep.
So
Injunctive and declaratory. So you enjoin them until it can be declared exactly what the relationship is between the parties and what from that relationship is due between those parties.
what the relationship is between the parties and what's exactly due. So are you saying you're challenging the concept of customer?
I am looking for declaratory action because of the ambiguity of the terms and conditions.
Okay. Now, if I'm not in a court case currently, they're just going to cut it off. Where do I file
That
that?
is where the injunction and declaratory action is. So you do the declaratory action, and in the declaratory action, one of your other requests for relief is injunctive until the declaration is decided.
Okay, but what I'm saying, are you suggesting that I start a case?
A declaratory action specifically.
I know, but I'm just asking in the Supreme Court, it's a declaratory action, or would I do it in the court where usually these things are done, which is the lower court, the civil court?
So it could be research because it's considered to be, is it like an agency? Or how does that
It's
work
an
again, Isaac?
agency.
Who's huh?
It's an agency.
Yeah, so it could be
Because in the agency, they have things called declaratory orders, or what is it
declaratory rulings.
also
Yeah.
called? Declaratory rulings, depending on the state, on
Mm-hmm.
an agency level.
So it should be research at least the correct posture since it's an agency first as a
Yeah.
maybe it could be sought.
The
Uh
the agency dictates the venue. So if the agency has a venue internally to do declaratory
yes.
actions or declaratory leave or declaratory orders or whatever they call it under the, is it the Administrative Procedures Act?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the
Mm-hmm.
Administrative Procedures Act.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's what I should look at. Okay,
Hmm.
And
and
then
see.
if one is not satisfied with that ruling, it can be brought or should be brought to the Supreme Court of the county
Yeah, because you
Okay.
may
for
have an
review.
option, because some cases will say
Yes.
your option is to go to the agency level declaratory order or whatever they do. Okay. Or sometimes it might say, or you can just go straight to the Supreme Court of the county, as it's called in New York.
Okay.
So you want to look at the Procedures Act to see if you have to do some type of agency thing first, or if it's concurrent, and then you get to decide which one.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll research into that.
Yeah.
Oh, and one last thing. I know it's not Thursday, but I'm just gonna say I have an appointment to see the note in person now next week. So
Can't wait for that.
All bets are on. Okay. Tice
this one
got
is
me
in
double
person.
or nothing. I might get $2 next week.
This one is in person. So
Okay.
but
Double
I
or
will
nothing, Tice.
But I will still bring the video of him, the Zoom of him responding to the online one on Thursday.
Okay, awesome. Yes, we're very excited to hear that.
Yeah, because I need that now. So okay, thank you so much.
I appreciate you allowing us to partner with you in your case, Aza, and not just Aza, but anybody here that has allowed us the opportunity. Those of us who assist you in this, regardless of what level, whether you're doing document reviews like Linnea, or you're doing private silent lay assistant like Trading Brigade and Hassan, it definitely benefits both parties when you guys engage us because we get to expand our knowledge. We get to get feathers in our caps when we do get those receipts, and it helps all of us level up to be able to better assist people moving forward. And then the same happens to all of us here. You get to be in a position where, again, your competence has led to increase of your confidence, and you can help others. Okay, and then you get that same benefit from being a helper, being an assistant, and not just being the one directly affected, especially when you start doing it out of the kindness of your heart with your friends and family. Taisha, get with Hassan. Great question. She asks, is there an AI tool that can type a complaint on pleading paper? I think either Word and definitely Docs or something has the pleading
Word,
paper. But
Should I just
when it comes
segue?
to
Oh, go
when it
ahead.
baiting
comes to
witness,
AI assistance
word,
of
baiting the witness.
drafting, you're either going to want to consult with one of us or get with Hassan directly for the tool. Okay, it's up to you how you want to participate.
So segue then. And just to be clear, because I know a lot of people aren't clear on it. Um, when you guys book, even if it's not just for to go over, whatever it is as far as your case and things of that nature, we already know Hassan is a stickler for organization. However, another part of what it is that's being offered is state specific remedies, is what I call them. And I trust you guys have a large language model like ChatGPT to get that particular one because that's what I'm building them through. Is ChatGPT for a state specific remedy.
Make it a little smaller, Hassan, so the whole scan thing could be in the screen.
Oh, you guys can't see it?
I can see it, but the whole thing, like the bottom is cut off for me. So if you make it just a little bit smaller, is it cut off for anybody else, or is it just?
You
I
zoom
see
out,
it.
Malika. Maybe you got to zoom out.
Just
Oh, let me
zoom
see.
out.
That might be it.
Yeah, yeah. You're good.
Okay.
So like, what is a state remedy? And then I'm gonna get to this class that's here. You guys, I guess, can peruse it a bit. A state remedy is basically me making sure you have what you need, specific and germane to the state you're near and for the issue that you're having. Sometimes I throw extras in there. I throw more in there than what you guys even asked for. I've done that for just about everyone that's gotten a state remedy. That's a friend-in-law here. Secondly, you guys get indeed gratitude. You guys will also get that's how you get access to the jurisprudence gem. The jurisprudence gem was specifically a gift for Malika at first until she decided that you guys needed to have your hands on it also, and it has been upgraded. I'm always upgrading, I'm always updating because I am completely committed to making sure that these large language models are used a little differently than people are using them, which is the reason why we're even having this class that's coming up in July. The other two things that you're getting usually is a video, and then there's a bonus gift that I give when you guys book with me, and I never mention it until your session. But those that know, you know, because you're using that extra gift, right? Um, but in particular, July 11th, right? July 11th. You guys already know if you click on this, you use your QR code reader, it'll take you right to the paying out. When we get your email and everything, I will make sure you guys you don't have to worry because I know a lot of times you're like, hold on, I transacted for this, but I don't have the Zoom yet. The Zoom link will come to you once you sign up. However, I'm gonna also send a reminder email also right before class. All righty, and probably like usually it'll be a day before class. All righty. If you have a state remedy, right, you get a bonus class. It doesn't cost extra. There's nothing else to it, but you'll get a lot, not even a whole lot more, but you'll definitely be a lot more because you guys know how I am when it comes to really sharing things. And I'll make sure those of you that already have the state remedy, I'm going to show you something even more that you can do with your experience with these large language models. And so shout out to all of those who, because I sit at many feet, right? I'm sitting here at Lawful Living. And there are many others feet who I also sit at too to further my my knowledge base, so that you guys can use these things a little more practically. But when it comes to precise prompting, I recognize that prompting is usually you guys' issue. But first and foremost, what's more of the issue is how you're organizing that which you're going to prompt about. So you guys have now 44 days until this class starts, right? So Malika's class is the off tax roll is June 6th. So you guys got more than enough time between those classes to get yourself prepared to even take the precise prompting class. And I get it. You might just think, oh, we're just going on ChatGPT, just prompting. I can go YouTube and stuff. Go right ahead. But I guarantee you, what I'm going to show you guys on the 11th and the 18th, nobody's really talking about it. Not really, unless you're in particular circles. You know what I mean? And when I recognized that, I was like, okay, this is why people are having a hard time. However, those of you that have your state remedies, all your state remedies haven't been updated. Some of you guys have, but the jurisprudence gem is absolutely updated. It absolutely is. And that's why I kind of just gave you guys a bit of a sample to see what it did just in terms of what Josette brought to us today, so that you guys can see, like, yes, there are tons of bots out there that will draft things for you, since Taisha asked. However, what I've also recognized is the way you get that to come forth I think that needs to be shown to you guys. You guys really need to know how to be able to take the reins of that. So I'm going to make sure that y'all have the basics, the foundation, and it'll definitely change your experience, because I guarantee you after this class, you will not be prompting your bots the way you're doing them now. You just won't. All right.
So Hassan, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So with the remedy, the state remedy that you're sharing, is it just prompts, or is it some kind of a form of chat GPT, or a form of AI?
No, I mean, it's something that's basically hosted on ChatGPT, but I'm curating things specific to the state near you.
And then he's having class in July on how to best use it by prompting better.
Correct. And here in Lawful Living, I trust that those of you that have your state remedy, that's how you get access to the jurisprudence gem, right? Because the jurisprudence gem I have not made public, so you can't explore GPTs on ChatGPT to find it. You can only get it through Lawful Living after you've gotten the state remedy built for you. And when you do have it and you're using it, I guarantee you there's really not too much out there that's moving like the jurisprudence gem. It really isn't. I've tested some other ones. It's not moving like the jurisprudence gem, because it has in its configuration the mindset of our community from the past. Even before I came 4 years ago, but I'll say the last 7 years maybe. Even after things getting modified from even before 4 years ago. So that's what's in there, and I'm always updating because I'm always in the law library. And then when studying with Malika and Quayne, I always get to refine my concepts. I'm sure we all three get to refine our concepts equally, but I can only speak for myself. And what that does is that allows me to further make sure that when I go to look at you guys issues and things of that nature, we can better frame those things. And sometimes it can help you to better frame what it is that you're doing by going into the configurations of your state remedy as well as your jurisprudence as well as the jurisprudence gem.
So just for my comprehension, so if you already have ChatGPT that you pay monthly for,
Say that again.
and huh?
You would
Hold on.
still need to hire Hassan to configure it for you,
Okay,
or
so
configure his own that he will give you instead of trying to finagle the one you already have. You will get your own personalized state remedy version.
so in other words, you cancel your current subscription,
You're not
and
canceling anything because you won't have access to
No,
it
yeah, you
if
don't
you
cancel it.
cancel
I
it.
want you to have your current subscription. It's best if you do have the subscription because you can upload more documents if you have at least a pro account. But no, I definitely want you to use the subscription. I mean, you keep your subscription. Do not cancel. It's nothing that it's really when you contact me for a session, I will disclose to you fully what it is and what it takes to get it. It is definitely a 0.5% of what it's worth.
Just make sure you get with him first, okay? Before you cancel or change anything. Consult with him first, okay?
You're using ChatGPT, Ozzy?
Yeah,
yeah,
Hassan,
You,
are you using? Have you been using Gemini?
Hold on, Steven. Hassan is asking Heidi a question. She's asking him a question. Let's not
yes,
interject.
I do currently have a subscription to ChatGPT, and I have put in a lot of my own prompts. Yes.
yeah, then you're fine. You're absolutely fine. If you were to get a state remedy, it will be specific to the jurisdiction that you need it for, i.e., whatever state you need. I curate that myself, alrighty, and make sure you have what it is you need, as well as you having access to the jurisprudence gem, because what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to either start a conversation in the jurisprudence gem and then move it to your state remedy, or you'll be able to have the conversation generally in the jurisprudence gem, and then maybe you go, okay, well, I like this part or I like that part of it, and now let me just take it over here into the state remedy. Or you can just work completely in the state remedy so that it is specific to what you're actually working with. However, I have made it so that they can work in tandem, and I trust you guys won't be disappointed so far.
And just so you know, Hassan, it does pull from each other. Like, so, and we just confirmed this weekend. We were
Great.
in one in the jurisprudence gym and then went into a non-jurisprudence gym and it made reference to it. And I had to go back like, wait, did I do that conversation in here? So it's great to have, them work in tandem, like he said.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because even if you're not like what you're saying, and this is what I recognize too about the large language models, it kind of has that hive mind theory to it. So if I'm working with jurisprudence gem on the East Coast, you're working with the jurisprudence gem on the West Coast. We're having our conversations how we're having it, but because the configuration is the same in our mind and we're in the same community, what happens is the general conversation, if you
Oh.
accidentally forget to click on jurisprudence gem or your state remedy, you're gonna be like, dang, why is it responding like this? Well, that's because now within the last, and I just found out from one of my software dev friends in law, they were like, well, ChatGPT didn't even really have memory till about 2 months ago, quote unquote.
That's why.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's really important when I gave y'all a little bit of what's gonna happen in July. When we meet in July, guys, I'm telling you, like, you're never gonna use your large language models. And I don't care which one you use, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it generic. It's just that when it comes to the state remedies and jurisprudence gem, that's specifically on ChatGPT. However, you can use Olama or Grok or Perplexity or Gemini.
Boo, boo.
You can use those because I'm going to show you something that's foundational, right? And I'm so glad that we have friends in law who are software devs. So and they have contributed in diverse ways to further my education on this. I was just because I was racking my brain when Malik was like, "Hassan's doing a class in July," and I was like, "I am." And okay, do I go in on this or do I go in on that? And then I
I'm
was,
glad that you picked this because I just want you guys to know it was like wrestling Hassan to give this information up with the prompt
yeah,
because it is very valuable and I could understand why he wanted to gatekeep it a little bit, but out of respect, I allowed him to pick whichever class he wanted. So you guys are in for a treat since he chose this one.
yeah,
So
because I did hold this one close to my heart. But when we got some friends in law that work on a whole nother level.
hopefully we're hyping you up.
And
Stop.
yeah, gratitude. And when I sit at their feet and they're like, bro, this and that and that, I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, yeah, we gotta show the people this. Then
Yes,
but
awesome.
I like to keep it lawful living, so that's why it's in the class form, because you already know there's headhunters out here, guys. So people would like to just like, oh well, they said it freely. Good. Now I can go headhunt that, take that. No, we're gonna make our community stronger, right? And if people want what we got, then come on over,
Awesome.
Well,
right?
I haven't tried that Chat GTP, GPT, but that like when I'm using Gemini in AI mode, it on your left hand column there, you hit AI mode, it indexes all of your searches and chats. So you can scroll down and go back to where you
So,
left
Stephen,
off.
are you going to have a class on how to use that? Because I'm sure no one is retaining that right at this moment. So, but
But
if you're
just
willing to bring it forward, maybe we might take you up on it. Okay.
Hey,
yeah, it's
all
well,
of them do the same thing. I gotta admit, they all do the same thing. It just depends on who developed them and
That's true.
what different things they made sure.
Programmed.
Yeah, that's it. I'm telling you, there it's all the same Nike. It's all a
Yeah.
tennis shoe.
Hey, the AI summary is picking up on our conversation. It says
I,
discussing the state remedy,
I didn't
a
want to.
legal AI tool. Ask for a live demo. That's right. Get with Hassan. Let him show you a
Gratitude.
demo. Okay. And if you guys are curious about why I started booing when he said perplexity,
Yeah,
y'all can ask him that inside joke too. Okay.
Yeah.
I I don't
All
know
right.
about having a class on
I was just
Gemini
kidding about that,
because
Steven.
well it's weirding me out because if Google follows me around everywhere and it weirds me out really.
But you just said you turn it on so it can track your chats. I don't know. You might want to consider or reconsider. I don't know. But
Well, it
we're
does
over time,
everything.
guys. That's the main reason I was trying to curb the conversation. Not because I wasn't enjoying it or it's not great information, but we've got to cut it somewhere and we should do it here. You guys have some things to consider, and the replay for this class, which will include the visual images of Trading Brigade's class as well as Hassan's class coming up in July. And if you guys put anything in the chat about the off tax roll or it's just mentioned, it will come up in that as well. So you guys don't have to try to remember, write everything down, or if you didn't get the chance to scan it, because once it gets on the replay, you guys will get a chance to do it then as well. Okay. So
Oh,
peace,
good.
y'all.
Peace.
Smooches,
Regardless of if you're
smooches.
listening on Zoom or on TikTok, we appreciate you.